So I'm going to discuss about simple peripheral and implementing a event-driven application. The simple peripheral will transition to low power standby mode when there is no event. At main task here, the event pen waits for an event. If there is no event, this task is black and then the device will go to low power standby mode. In standby mode, there is no code running. These events are identified by event IDs. So here, SPP all events bitwise or of all events depend on. I will discuss only events that you will often need to use to create a Bluetooth application. First of all, queue event, identified by event ID 30. I so each queue event is identified by an ID, and I call this queue IDs here. So when you queue event, you are sending a message in this format using util and queue message. So the other kind of event is what I call user-defined event. Here is SBP periodic event. That is used for a periodic lock running when there is a Bluetooth connection. To inform the main application of this user-defined event, we use event post. I'm going to show how a queue event is used in simple peripheral. So in simple profile, in sim so in simple profile, when we write to a characteristics, it goes to a callback. And here we registered a callback here. So whenever you write to a simple profile characteristics, for example, at characteristics 3, it goes to this callback. So it calls this simple peripheral car value change callback function. And then it will enqueue message with a queue ID SPP car change event, and then param ID is simple profile card 3. So in enqueue message, it will set your parameters at this. Example here, event is the queue ID, state, and data. Then it will use a util enqueue message to enqueue message, which will be processed at your main task. So at main task, it will identify at event ped, it will identify this queue event, and then here, so SBP queue event. Then we'll process the message here. So meaning when the main task, the event ped identify this as a valid event, the device will transition from low power standby mode to running mode. So here it will process the message SPP card change event. For example, when we write to characteristics 3, it will just get the value of characteristics 3 and then display print to UART. Next, I'm going to show how a user-defined event is used at simple peripheral. So that user-defined event is SBP periodic event used at a periodic lock when there is Bluetooth connection. So let's analyze the util construct clock. So this util construct clock um, set timeout is set to 5,000 milliseconds or 5 seconds. So when this so when there is Bluetooth connection, util start clock is called, and this clock will start, and then after the 5,000 milliseconds expires, it will call this simple peripheral clock handler function. So this is the callback. And then this SPP periodic event will be passed at simple clock handler. So for example, there is a Bluetooth connection, and then the 5 seconds timer will start. So when it expires, it will call this simple peripheral clock handler, pass the SBP periodic event as argument to event post. So then at main task, the event pend will determine that this is a valid event, and then the device will transition from low power standby mode to running mode. Okay, so this event at this so this will restart the clock and then process that periodic event. So here, so this periodic task, it will just copy the characteristics tree value to characteristics 4. So what is the consequence of not implementing a event-driven Bluetooth application? So this is from my personal experience. So I implemented from one of my projects a receive continuously in UART mode callback, which I would send a UART message to CC264CRTF to set some device settings and also do some tests like turn on the buzzer, turn on off the LED. So what happens is during my test, the device would hang after sending a UART message. And after at our investigation, I found out that the device went into standby mode. So to solve the problem, this UART message I queue it, and then which will wake up the application. After waking up the application, we process this UART message. So this is the challenge when you're implementing a Bluetooth application. You need to implement it in event-driven mode.